Good day, folks. Beautiful day in downtown Foxtrap. We're here in number 2 cemetery today. I'm going to be talking a little bit about a forgotten family. It was one of the first families to settle in Foxtrap, and there's not much record of the first settler. We only know him from a legend passed down through word of mouth from Paddy Maley. He was the guy, apparently. Now, we don't know a whole lot about Paddy. There's very little in the historical records. Nothing, actually, that I can be able to find. But we do know that he had a son, James Maley. Age, it says 23 here. But James was the last of his family to carry on this family name. Although he did have a sister, and her ancestors have written a book on how the family coped with the loss of life after he was gone. It was a terrible, terrible storm on the SS Southern Cross. It was the same day, this terrible storm, that 77 Newfoundlanders froze to death. You might be familiar with that story with the book by Cassie Daw called Death on the Ice. Cassie Brown, I'm sorry. And there is evidence that the Maleys were here, but there's no evidence of their original ancestor, Paddy. Paddy is only, like I say, more of a legend, more so than anything else, because we have no historical record. Although there is a pond that is called Paddy's Pond, apparently in memory of Paddy. So we do have some, I guess, record in a way that Paddy did exist, that he was here, that he did live here long before records were ever even kept. In Paddy's Pond, you could see from number 1 graveyard cemetery. I'm in number 2 at the moment, but you could see number 1. It's out there. So it's a gradual progression inland from the beach, inland, as to finally the 3rd or 4th church, actually, that was in Foxtrap, still stands today. Now, this young fella James that died when the Southern Cross went down, his parents are here, so it's a further record that the family did indeed exist. And there's also records of James's parents and grandparents. His parents were William James Maley, and of course he's here, and his wife Mary Jane. Mary Jane is here. Now, the spelling of the last name, of course, is changed a few times. I think it went by how people pronounced it, more so, and then spelled it as to how they heard it. But Mary Jane Maley was William James Maley's wife, and James Maley's mom, and her husband, William J. And their son, William James. Of course, James Maley, his body was never recovered. The Southern Cross disappeared without a trace in that extreme weather event a little over 100 years ago today. There's also records of a James Maley before this fellow, and an Edward Maley in some listings and business directories. But there's no mention anywhere of Paddy Maley. And all we know about Paddy is, like I said, a story that was handed down through generations of Paddy Maley and how he lived in a sod tilt on the side of Paddy's Pond. So I can't really prove the story, but there is evidence that his descendants lived on for quite some time. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye-bye.